Welcome to the John Doe Radio Show. I am your host, John Doe. It's a Monday. That becomes more and more relevant as we head into Mondays on the John Doe Radio Show. Monday, February 6th. Thank you again for hanging out with us. You're checking out, if you are hanging out with us live, you are at live.johndoeradio.com. You can also go to Ustream, download the Ustream app, and search for John Doe Radio on that Ustream app, and you can find us. And if you are listening to us on the podcast, head over to johndoeradio.com/live, Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock, till whenever the heck we decide to go. And it'll be good times, all right? Thank you for joining us again. Phil, thank you very much for hanging out with us. Phil, filming up in here, gets the video footage to you guys, taking care of every single day, man. Very, very happy of everything that's come across with it. So I got to tell Phil thanks. Everybody should give him mad love, mad props, because there's been a massive, huge demand for the video. And so he's got it done and got it done well. I ain't even had to really worry about stuff. There's like 2 questions. I'm like asking him things. I'm like, should we do this? He's like, man, if you want to know my opinion. And I'm like, that's why I'm asking you, Phil. So yeah, good times. Big thanks to you. Not so much sure how much Kim's going to be around. Unfortunately, at this point in time, as a business, as we come between business and hobby, it's a struggle. And so we just basically can't afford a lot of the services that Kim deserves to be paid for. So hopefully we can have her around at some point in time. Hopefully she'll be back in and out. And wish the best for her. She's going to hopefully get her red card. She has a red card. Hopefully be getting her blue card, her blue badge, to work in the industry here in the next day or two. So wish the best for you. This week, I just flipped open my news section, and I come across another article in Time magazine that's talking about legalizing marijuana and how it's a situation that's coming. Now, the frustrating part about all these articles and everything that we sit here and we deal with as reformers, and with the things that we have to deal with the prohibitionists, it becomes more and more evidently clear through science and through facts and through reasoning the way things should be. But we have this political problem and this political issue that sits inside of the state legislatures, governor's offices. Here's CPM. Looks like they're coming in now. So, and you have these situations to where it's a political taboo for them to hop onto, even though if they sold it right, and even though if they sat down and they talked to their constituents and made it clear to their constituents what was going on, what could be taken care of by ending the drug war, what could be taken care of by passing medical marijuana, by legalizing marijuana, the idea could be sold. And you got to believe that the idea could be sold, because these people are selling, the legislators that is, the governors, the mayors, are selling people on some of the most ridiculous, outlandish, insane ideas that have ever existed in the history of man. I mean, politics, the craziness that goes in with it. It's just, the more and more I think about it every day, is just this massive giant, and the reason why we sit where we sit today. Because as we look over to this Time magazine article, the drive to legalize marijuana has long been a fringe cause associated with hardcore libertarians and college-age stoners, but it could go mainstream in a big way in this November's election, when Washington could become the first state to legalize recreational pot use. If it does, or if voters in any of several other states do this year, could be a turning point in that nation's treatment of marijuana. Now, did you see my lead up into all this? That there's possibly a new entry into this whole side of things, and not even possibly a new entry, but something that's been here for a while, something that with medical marijuana had some of the biggest support, with 69% of Washington, D.C. Citizens voting, yes, we want medical marijuana, and it's taken almost over a decade for it to be implemented. Still having problems and issues with it. The fronts and where we fight our wars and the battles that are won, or the fronts and the battles and where we win the war. California, Colorado, Washington, Oregon. You have Arizona, New Mexico. You have certain fights going on in New Jersey. certain fights going on in Rhode Island to be able to keep and open dispensaries. And now you have a possible idea of medical marijuana not only being implemented, has been implemented, the process being rolled out in Washington, D.C., but the talk of legalization in the nation's capital, in the same spot. Well, these legislators, these congressmen are walking into every day, driving into every day, going to be able to see it firsthand. We talked about it when medical marijuana was passed. It's like, just implement the system and you'll see for yourself firsthand, and it could change your thoughts for everything that is the future. You know, say there's a congressman that has an ill aunt, God forbid anybody gets sick, but has an ill aunt, or their grandmother, or their mom, or their wife, son, daughter, whoever it is. Medical marijuana is available in Washington, D.C., and you know what? It just becomes that morning where they're just... That person's that they love is just sick and sick, and you just feel it inside your heart that there's nothing I can do, and you want to just take it all away. So you go get them taken care of with medical marijuana. That person can then eat, can then not get sick, can then function in the morning. You're now, as a congressman, have possibly changed your mind, changed your entire mindset, everything that you've ever thought about drugs, possibly. Just by witnessing what one big-ass farkin' lie has done to so many people. Thrown them in jail, had to deal with the illness and the sickness and the persecution that goes along with it, being denied, absolutely denied medicine at the front door. Back to the article. The idea, and we'll get with CPM is here too with us, so thank you big time, Patrick Roper up in here. The idea that a majority of voters could support legalizing marijuana may seem far out, but the polls say otherwise. In many states, the pro-legalization and anti-legalization camps are roughly equal in size. In a poll of Washington state voters, damn it, I lost my spot. Released last month, supporters of the legalization referendum outnumbered opponents 48 to 45%. And Washington probably won't be the only state voting on marijuana this year. In Colorado, supporters last week fell about 3,000 signatures short of getting a legalization measure on the ballot, but the law gave them 15 days to collect the rest, and it seems likely that they will get that. They will get that. I've seen 3,000 signatures collected in one day from just a couple people. Activists are collecting signatures in other states, including California, Michigan, Montana. Let me just continue with this. For years, the debate on marijuana has been focused on narrow questions: medical marijuana, how to implement it. The argument cancer patients and others have with chronic pain should be able to alleviate it by using marijuana has been prevailing in states. Today, 16 states, including Washington, Colorado, and the District of Columbia, have legalized marijuana for medical purposes. Recently, action has shifted to recreational marijuana use. Washington's referendum, which is what we're talking about Washington here, specifically the state, but I'm talking that if we could get that, the 69%, the medical marijuana, the D.C., get different fronts, adding ties into here. Washington's referendum would treat pot like alcohol, so the sale of marijuana would be restricted to people over 21. The new law would give the Liquor Control Board the authority to license marijuana farms, and marijuana tax revenues would be directed to health and drug abuse prevention programs. But other states' proposed laws are more laissez-faire. Colorado would legalize marijuana so that, as its supporters put it, cannabis would be regulated like grapes, tomatoes, or other harmless botanic plants. I don't know if that's necessarily true. We're going to have to get Mason DeVert on the show here and talk about exactly 100% what the legalization initiative here in Colorado looks like. It basically sets up the situation like medical marijuana did and allows for the legislature to implement a system. So that, I don't know. Could be. I mean, that could be right. Supporters argue that legalization long overdue. They argue that not only is prohibition more harmful than alcohol or tobacco, and that in a free country, people should be able to decide on their own whether to use it. They also argue that as a practical matter, laws against marijuana have been no more successful than prohibition was against alcohol, and that similarly, it has given criminals a monopoly on distributing it and selling it. Legalization, they say, would reduce the number of people in prison and would shift revenue from drug syndicates to government in form of tax receipts. Hey, how's it going? We got you guys. We got Patrick and Roper here.
Good morning.
Morning. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Okay, a little chaotic this morning.
That's all right. I was hoping. I was a little worried that you guys weren't going to be in today.
Oh, well, we're trying to set up a schedule right now, actually, to get a rotation of some of the other CPM employees and so you can get more a better, wider range of views of what goes on inside.
I got to thank you guys very much. Sean's not here, but let me write some down real fast.
We didn't
Sean's
hear
not
anybody
here.
else, so we were like, oh, I guess we must be the de facto.
Let me pull this one up. Those ones are the ones they talk straight into. So sorry, I'm the mic Nazi. I can't. Sorry.
It's your show.
But no, I you guys' show's on Monday, which leads me into what I'm about to say. Is I really do appreciate your guys' support, Sean and his partner. I appreciate everybody there at CPM. Without you guys, without the sponsors that we've had on and kept on solid, we just wouldn't be able to do this. So we're trying to continue to build more and more. There's some moves we're going to have to make here pretty soon.
Well, we're very glad to be able to support you.
Cool, good times, man. And leading into that, I don't want to make that into because I thank everybody a lot, and I hope everybody feels not only just CPM but everybody that's involved with JDR feels that the appreciation of everything. I mean, allowing my life to be able to be this.
Well, it was just like this weekend. I was talking to Sean there. You were talking about the legalization, and when the news came down last week when they said there wasn't enough signatures, valid signatures, and it was just like, what was the number? It was just like over 3,000 or something. Yeah, that we need to get, and they had till the 28th of this month to get those in. More signatures. So it's like, okay, well, all right. It's going to be on the ballot. We're going to see it here.
I've seen a ton of signatures collected in one day, and the frustrating part about that is maybe we look back and find out why, because there was half the signatures basically got thrown out.
Yeah.
So we go back and look at why that happened, and fix it tomorrow and the next day after that, and get better every day in the following, so that we're not sitting in a situation to where.
Well, it's a matter. This is just getting it on the ballot. Once this happens, they've done this. Why half the signatures ended up being invalid, we don't know. We could go through and.
But
find
that's the process. Is we need to find out is if we're hitting the right people, and if the people that were, and I'm not questioning the signature gatherers here, they did a fantastic job. Just maybe as you sit back and run a campaign, sit back and look at what you've done and what your numbers are, and then find out, where exactly you could have done better. And the first spot I would look at in this situation would be, I would sit my petitioners down and talk with them and then figure out what exactly happened. But that's what I was saying. Is that's also armchair me quarterback coming from knowing nothing about how the process works.
But they've been successful. What I'm saying is they've been successful.
Have been, obviously.
They've got all the signatures there. They finished this up. Now it's the next step.
But checking to make sure people are valid voters is one thing. I mean, the questioning process and then all that stuff. But so I don't want to make it seem like I'm nailing on them at all. Because Mason is a good guy, and everybody that's done
great.
Emmett that headed that up, and everybody that did volunteer work, fantastic work for it. We will get it on there.
Exactly. And then the next step after that is just now educating the public and educating as to why this is the way to go with this and what's proper about it, what all the right things. There's arguments for I could sit here and argue with you for why we need to make alcohol illegal, and tobacco and sugar and a lot of other things.
That's what a lot of people thought when Mason came out with his, when he came out with Safer.
Yeah.
And it was like alcohol or marijuana.
I
did that a lot. Marijuana is safer than alcohol, and people just thought he was like, going to come in and try and tell people that drinking alcohol is bad.
The state, you had actually some some representatives that went to him, and said, hey, we're all for this. If all you have to do is just say this is just as bad as alcohol. Quit saying that it's safer than alcohol. If you say that it needs to be addressed and treated as just as dangerous as alcohol, then you got our support on this. And he's like, okay, and that's where we're at now. Is that there's actually, the lawmakers out there are actually seeing it's the benefits of this go well beyond just the fact of it's on so many different facets that this is going to change. It's going to be just huge as what's going to happen here.
Legalization will change the fabric of America. I got the mad munchies.
Well, I don't know. Did you see yesterday? Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I was going to lead into something here.
Yeah, and that's where Sean pointed this out to me, and I didn't see it.
Hold on, I'm going to play it right here. Actually, I'm going to try and get
the commercial for Prohibition.
I'm going to try and get the screen capture up for the people on.
Okay. I didn't get to see it yet, and so he told me, he was like, "Whoa, wow, this is." He was like, if all the people in the industry just got together and actually put in some money, and we're actually able to do some advertising and get the education out there to the people.
Yeah.
Touch that many people.
It would be.
It would be nice to have Super Bowl money by that kind of advertising.
What you doing? But I saw this commercial and
ain't no millionaires in this business.
I've talked about before on the John O Radio Show the History Channel and the programs on the History Channel, Prohibition 1 and 2, and all the other stuff that they've had, and it just blows me away about how they talk about. Basically make the rum runners and all the bootleggers out to be heroes and to stopping a situation that wasn't bad, that wasn't good for American freedom and all that. And
NASCAR.
NASCAR, is founded on it.
The number one spectator sport in the world now, NASCAR, it was born out of bootlegging.
And every year before the Daytona 500, they talk about the history of NASCAR, and they get it in there all the time, and they make it clear that this, bootlegging, yada, yada, yada. But it hits me, man. It really does hit me when I watch these programs and TV shows about Prohibition, and they talk about it being a positive thing and something that's, changed over time. And then this commercial came on here this week and just blew me away. It's a Budweiser commercial based on a true story.
It's over! Prohibition is over! It's over!
Basically, Clydesdales are running in now. They're delivering the first delivery of beer from Budweiser to, the family's shop. Bar open, sign opens up. Everybody's cheering. First box of beer is handed down, passed down. This is life-saving medicine is what you think this is.
Time to get wasted, bro.
Delivering great times since whatever date that was. And that's that commercial came on yesterday, and that's to me, I stopped paying attention to all the other commercials after that point because it hit me. I'm like, and I just kept thinking about, what I cannot wait to produce our commercial someday for that, like we sit here and we do commercials for you guys. We sit here and we do commercials for just commercials, period. That's what I do as a producer. And, I can't wait to do that someday. I can't wait to be a part of that because it's like, dude, that the music that they played, granted that company is making themselves out selling a commercial, but they're not selling a beer. They're selling a beer. They're not selling like the Born On date. They're not selling, the super new Bud or whatever. That commercial was the history and everything behind beer. It was the Prohibition. It was what you've gone through to get this beer in your hand, and you should be proud of it. And the same thing is going to happen with us.
It's such an ingrained
awesome.
part of society. And you look at every different civilization around the world, alcohol has played a part in it. It's something, libations. It's been around forever, and it's going to continue to be around forever. The same thing goes when it comes to cannabis. Okay, it's been around forever. It's going to be around forever. It's not to me, if you're smart. I went on a rant this weekend on a Facebook or whatever.
With or without Tremisweetus.
And I basically, the bottom line of it was like, if you're smart, you change. You know, if you continue to stay the same, if you don't evolve and change with the times and what's going on, which constant new things that are happening everywhere, and if you don't keep up with that stuff, you're going to be left behind. Now, there is I understand a sense of nostalgia that comes with, you know, a lot of the classic stuff in the past, but really, if you think about it, there's a lot of stuff that has changed over the years, over centuries, over the decades, over just presidential terms. You will see complete shifts that are going on. I've been in this now, working in the medical marijuana industry since 1996. I was living in California, and in 2001, I moved back here to Colorado. And to see this today, where we're at now, compared to what we were back when it started, you know,
dude, in just a couple years, man, it's not even. I mean, you're right. What you're saying,
it's like we're saying technology, where it has snowballed and got faster and faster and faster. It's like, well,
take the past 2 years here in Colorado,
and that's what I'm doing. It's like, you know, I'm thinking back to where, you know, it's like now we deal with the hash oils and a lot of the different things, you know, peanut butters and several different extractions and all of these different strains and stuff. And I remember back getting started in all this, where it was like it was all nothing. They even knew. I mean, everybody threw away all their trim and their trash and
that
all the
happened
leaves.
up until just a year ago.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm getting at. Is that there's been this whole shift, and you're seeing changes that are happening. This and opening. There's more and more studies now that are actually being circulated and shown, and that doctors are accepting. And you've got now, you know, how many members of the American, you know, what do you call it? The medical associations that are out there that are now all joining in. Even the DEA is now coming out and saying, okay, it is medicine. Well, yeah, there's a lot of things out there. We're saying they did this with alcohol, okay? Alcohol was distributed. You know, we still have some of the laws that are on the books here in Colorado that a drugstore can sell alcohol, and you're allowed to sell it, but you have to have a pharmacist on duty for at least half of the business hours that you're open.
Yeah, that's
So all the old,
Yeah.
you know, it goes all back to the Prohibition days of when this stuff was actually, you know, sold through. That's why you've got Trader Joe's and stuff is probably going to have a flagship that has the liquor license that they're allowed to have, and then a couple of satellite stores that aren't going to have liquor in them. You know, that's what we're going to see here in Colorado because of the way the laws are. But it's what you're going to see, I think, with the legalization. If this happens, if this goes through, it's going to be much the same like that Budweiser commercial. There are so many people, I think, in this world that this affects in some little way, yes or no, you know, kind of thing like we're saying. People's family that are affected, that are put into jail. Sick people that are going to be able to have this. The people that are just, I don't want to go out and get loaded and drunk with friends. You know what? I just want to go out and smoke a bowl and hang out with my buddies, you know, or, you know, get stoned and go watch a movie or you know, all these things where it's like it's very acceptable in other countries. It's fine. It's normal. You know, but if you are a responsible adult and you know, you act accordingly, you know, yeah, if you're screwing up, the same thing. If you're drunk and you're breaking the law, guess what? You go to jail. You know, same thing should happen, I think, with people that are stoned. But it's like at the end of the day, if that's what you're doing, that's your escape. That is your vice. Okay, that's what you want. Let the people have their opiate. Like, they're going to get it one way or another. They're going to do it illegally.
Yeah.
But if you can regulate it and offer up now with the tax money, be able to educate people and be able to help people and give them the counseling and the you know, information and education that they need to understand and how to use this properly. Same thing, you know, that we do with alcohol.
I agree, man. And talking with Patrick and Roper here from Compassionate Pain Management, CPM, 2 locations in Colorado, 1 in Lakewood and 1 in Louisville. You can check them out in Louisville at the corner of, well, let's just give the full address. Lakewood. I got this thing all screwed up right here. Louisville. 1116-7 West Dillon Road, southwest corner, West Dillon, McCaslin, or call them in Louisville, 303-665-5596, 303-665-5596. We're in Lakewood, 1585 Quail Street, number 13B, 303-232-3620. consider more than just top shelf meds, which they have, but you also have other opportunities to be able to deal with your pain management, other situations. Just go there, ask them about it. Knowledgeable people. Therapeutic massage available, lymphatic drainage, hot stone massage, Chinese medicine. All this stuff is important, man. All this stuff is important. Important to keeping yourself well. And tell them JDR sent you. We appreciate all of their support. And yeah, it's good times, man.
Poke you with needles.
Poke you with needles. That yeah, acupuncture seems like something I might want to try here someday. But
like I said, I have somebody to that's would certainly be willing to give you a shot.
It's been a rough weekend, man. I want to say big shout out to my grandma. She's kind of having some issues with her Alzheimer's, and she's kind of been sick. And God dang it, I'm an emotional dude. I just am.
Yeah, my grandma had Alzheimer's too.
No, she's not doing too well right now. And I love you.
Through the doors, they often to the stores, got me bossing, doing more for the promised land. I'm you and yours, Nina.
We get paid, like you say, living life in luxury, rolling round this world doing this thing. This is the promised land. 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 What you people felt to say.
John Doe Radio.
Mad Hatter Smoke Shop has got your high-quality, American-made, unique pieces and some of the best scientific glass available anywhere. Artists and companies like Mike Fro, Cowboy, Zob, Royal, and D-Rock with some of the best products the Mile High State has to offer. Treehouse, Joel Halen, Worm, Tricky, and more. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop also carries Sheldon Black, one of the highest names in glass standards. Don't miss out on the Holy Water style collection either. Our friend John Waters offers his line of shirts, jackets, hats, and skateboards for men and women. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop for everything the JDR Army needs. Mention JDR or John Doe Radio and get 20% off. 20%! Visit MadHatterSmokeShop.com or email store@MadHatterSmokeShop.com for inquiries. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop, 6091 West Colfax Avenue in Denver, 303-953-7015. Store at MadHatterSmokeShop.com, 6091 West Colfax Avenue, Denver, Colorado, 303-953-7015. Trouble with the law? Or maybe you're looking to start a medical marijuana business? The law firm of Edson, Mayton, and Matz can help. Attorneys Warren Edson, Lauren Mayton, and Chris Matz offer a wide range of criminal defense-related assistance and cannabis legal services. Call the team of legal professionals ready to help you or your business out today. 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or check out the website, WarrenEdson.com. That's WarrenEdson.com.
John Doe Radio.
Cannon.
Hanging out here with the good peeps from Compassionate Pain Management, CPM. The names is Patrick and Roper. How you doing, Patrick?
Doing well.
Roper?
I did my little jig this morning. Yeah, I'm doing fine.
We do a dance every morning.
Dude, why are you showing me the... Did you think I forgot your name? Is
No.
that it? Oh, for those guys, the camera's over here today.
That's that
I
one
could
now.
turn. You could get up and put a,
No.
show your nice.
Do our jig, our daily jig.
You know what I've noticed, and we talked about this before. I don't know if it was with you guys. I can't remember. I mean, my brain is just sometimes just fried. Just like I mentioned before, my brain has been on money and the show and my grandma. Mainly a lot of my grandma this weekend, but somehow I don't remember things. What's that? Go ahead.
I was this weekend. I had a friend break down to me, telling me just the same thing. They're so strung out. They're so stressed. There's so much going on right now about, like you're saying, everything: family or money or work or this.
Uncertainty of future.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people stressed right now. A lot of people.
And whatever we have to do here at the John Doe Radio Show to keep things going,
That's why you got to prep.
we're gonna keep going, and then the future is comes and the future goes. Really, I mean, it's called the past.
What are you going to do about it?
It's what's called the past, right? Nah, but something else I noticed I don't think we talked about a lot here on the show, and this is getting to the insider industry type stuff here, and something else that more of like also along the lines of thank you guys for allowing me to do what I do every day. But I took a shower last night, and that's not the whole thing. I take a shower usually every night, hopefully. But I like got out of the shower, and like I'm like this fuzzy fur of hair sitting on my face, and I'm like, if I were to be doing any other job or any other thing, this probably wouldn't fly. It probably would be a situation where you may have a boss. There's probably lots of jobs, but the jobs that I've done, office work stuff, they'd probably be like, hey,
See, that's why you got to do a happy jig in the morning.
Hey, Bill, can you come here and I need you to shave that. Yeah. No, actually, I need you to do it right now. Here's a razor and some.
you know what I was saying? Like, it wouldn't be able to be happen, and also I just get lazy. I don't want to shave it. And Roper, you sit here. You got your big old long beard going on.
Well, I do.
I mean, there's not a whole lot. There's
The wife likes them grizzly.
That is perfect. You're good. I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that got the grower look is what. That's what I'm going to.
See the garden gnome.
I'm going to the garden gnome.
Yeah, you should see Lee.
Oh, jeez.
There is.
Yeah, talk about.
But there also
and
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
A bear.
Jimmy, you saw Jimmy. He's got.
And the ladies, there's a lady in the chat room that says, "Thank God I'm a girl." But hold up there. There is a female grower look. It is more hippie-ish look, but
Boulder-esque.
Traditionalist, Boulder-esque. that is true. For
Say
those
no
people,
more.
For those people outside of Colorado, Boulder, Colorado.
I try not to go to that county at all.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I kind of like Boulder.
It's pretty, but
I kind of like it now that I've not had to go back to it for years and years. But
exactly.
As you can see, I like girls who shave.
That's not
Yeah,
what
me
I'm
too.
talking about. That's
Me
not,
too. Break it all the way down,
Okay,
baby.
but no, all right, but
That's not what I was going to. I'm just saying there's a certain like hippie chic
yes,
I'm gonna use from our good friend Rachel, who works at Alternative Wellness Center. She's kind of a hippie chic, I would like to say. But they have that certain look, and especially the trimmers, and then there's the office managers and bud tenders and all, and everybody's got their own different look in this industry, and it flies, man, and it flies in other industries. Say like you have the snowboard industry, you see this a lot in, like Never Summer is located here in Colorado, I'm pretty sure, and in meeting with a couple other snowboard companies throughout the time that I worked up in Steamboat or ski companies or whatever. There's a certain type of look in certain industries, but it's not that prevailing.
Surfers and
surfers.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's like a
skaters.
But it's surfing. But those are like pro industries, though. You know what I'm saying? Like those are sort of like if you've made it.
CEOs.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That all depends on which
what kind of look you're going for.
Well, what industry you're in. I mean, if you're a CEO, you're definitely going to have a suit and tie on most of the time.
But there's
I
probably
guess.
there's probably a certain expectation even then of a way to look or whatever. But I'm talking
Right.
like inside level, ground floor,
Oh, yeah.
mid management, whatever it is. Maybe not even up to mid management. Just the ability for you to go in and do work and not have to deal necessarily with the outside public, or when you do deal with the outside public, you look good enough because that culture and everything that we are and what we do has enabled us to be that, and we're introducing it to the rest of the world.
Yeah, I would guess that
And you notice it's spreading across Colorado and Denver, dude. It's like this whole culture spread of like a look and a certain
there
thing.
is.
The
There's a-
hoodlum has spread all over.
there's a perception that goes with this look of professionalism. That it's like if you look the role, then you are the role. It's like you're much more
There's
willing
some truth to that.
to let's say, like you're saying, if you were going and seeking professional help from somebody, you'd think that somebody who is looking more business-like and put together is going to be more professional than somebody who
It's
isn't.
purely perception on
Exactly.
the image, of course. but,
Exactly.
I
That's
mean,
a perception, but it's there. That's what I'm
oh
getting
yeah,
at.
absolutely. You have to play to that.
Exactly.
For sure.
yeah. It's just interesting.
I didn't know
You know,
that I
but
looked like
that's
the
society.
part.
We don't have to deal
But
with
thank
them.
you,
They,
I guess.
they keep us, in the back of the warehouse, throw us raw meat.
Yeah, just-
we're just animals.
It's bacon,
Bacon. But
Bacon.
at least.
Bacon.
So-
That should be the word of the day, bacon. Yeah, I got the mad munchies going on right now, and y'all just said bacon up in here. I'm smelling bacon right now. Woo! No, but it's an interesting to get in, interesting industry to get into and to be part of the dynamics of, and to see, how people are and what, and there's just that certain look of grower look, and that's why I just brought it up as I looked at myself in the mirror.
It's funny because we all have we're basically
damn.
bald. It's funny, all of us growers in the back, except for Lee, but
Lee's that's completely opposite.
It's funny. It's just it's really interesting because it just happened that way. It isn't like this is the way you've got to look. You got to be this way at all. Now it's funny because we do have uniforms. We do have change in to clothes there and stuff.
Which is nice because it does get stinky.
Yeah, and I know it's
fresh. Have you ever seen when you go into like 7-Eleven or a fast food place because you got the munchies and you got to go in there and you get to the person at the behind the counter and they get this like dazed, confused look in their face because you just reek of this beautiful fresh flowers all over you.
I go into the bank, dude.
Yeah,
weird looks.
Oh, it's not just
but then they
court. How about court? How about going into court?
No. That's one I make sure that it's taken care of.
I'm not going to mention names, but this did just happen to a grower. I went into court, and after they got off work, and the judge said, "Okay, all right, we'll see you. We'll see you next time and stuff. Bring it, bring the paperwork that you need to bring. We'll see you next time, and don't come in here stinking like weed."
That's funny, dude. That's not funny, but I mean that's.
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything. He was like, Your Honor, it's what I do for a living. That's,
dude, and that's what his thing was in
better change next time.
Well, it's not just that, it's shower. It's just like me. It gets all over your arms and hands. It isn't like, I'm completely covered, the whole entire time I'm at work.
No, I mean,
I'm
around you put the rubber gloves
the
on and everything, but still it gets...
And when we were pulled over, the cop was like, giving us 20
Mm-hmm.
questions and saying this and that and smelling weed and whatever. And like at the end of it is like, talking about the being in the industry and whatever. And it's like, oh, I didn't know that you blah 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 or blah blah. It was almost like, oh, okay. It'd just be like you'd be smelling like I don't know, man.
Anything else coming from
yeah,
like McDonald's. You smell like
McDonald's.
Fried food.
I was gonna say maybe you do trash pickup and you come home smelling like trash. But those guys make mad bank, so I can't talk smack about it.
But we're getting it's this weird thing. It's the what do I call it? It's they get hypnotized. These people, it's so funny. I go out and literally on a daily basis, if I have been, I go out for lunch or I run an errand or do something.
It's almost
go to
like
Home Depot. These people that deal with me, like a cashier or something,
it's like projected stonage. It's almost like
they get messed up in the head.
Yeah, they get faded.
Screw up. They get faded. And
we get changed
up.
Back for 20s, for 20s,
this
and
happens
I mean
all
it's
the time.
like
This messes with people's heads.
Oh, dude,
it's
hilarious.
It's
Pay
like
attention.
Here they charge me for 1 foot of this when I bought 100 feet of it,
200 feet of it.
Really, I point this out. And I'm a pretty honest person. I turn around and point this stuff out to them. I'm like, this isn't right, and they're but I constantly do it. If I wasn't such an honest person, I would make out like a bandit. I just go from business to business all day long after going through the garden and just seeing what I can get.
People get faded. It's weird.
Well, here's the thing:
but sometimes it works against you.
It does, and that's where it comes in because the ex-girlfriend,
They can. You can't take advantage of it.
Luann would, we would, when I had my garden or whatever, we'd trim and, she'd be wearing her pullover inside the house, the same kind of jacket she wears to work or whatever.
Yeah.
And warm jacket. And it's just be like, you get to work the next day and, after getting out of the car or whatever and get into a new environment that doesn't necessarily smell like cannabis all the time. And it's like, oh shit!
Yeah,
damn. And it's like you got to remember. It's like I tell her you got to have one for work and one for play.
People get in my car. I go over to a friend's house. I just walk through. I don't even realize it. I have my hoodie on. And they're like, "Whoo, damn!" I
think our electrician
did
said
a
his
skunk
van
just
was
walking?
all. His van when he brings the van in, he says when the van's at his house,
it reeks like weed
for the weekend.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It's funny because this is, but like we were saying, I can actually see what's going to happen.
We don't care about filters anymore, as you can see.
It's I was going to say, it was like the whole
waste of money
filter system of.
Once you get past a certain point,
filters for air, of course, but not for smell.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing, the charcoal filters. Because it's like our neighbors.
Everybody,
are you kidding me?
Don't freak out.
Where I guess from what I understand, where we're at, there's a pretty good concentration of grows. That are all legal with the state.
Well, there's areas that you can walk into town and they just walk down the street and
Yeah,
you're like,
and
damn,
you-
it smells like some weed in this.
Exactly. You can tell what's being harvested.
But that's what you said, the smell
yeah.
thing is like, once you get to a certain point, it's like the dog food factory on I-70.
yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
does
yeah.
that make me hungry when I
That-
drive by it?
That
Oh,
smells
my
like
God.
dog
Oh, snap.
shit.
Well, see,
God, that smells like
I
crap.
don't know.
You
If
don't get
ever-
hungry?
if
What
you've
about the
ever-
Safeway plant just a little further down when they're baking bread?
You ever worked with breweries?
That's
You know, just
different.
it's barley. It's that that smell. I know.
We used to our when I played baseball in high school, right next to Sheridan High School was a candy company.
Yeah.
And they would make candies, and you'd smell the burnt sugar every day. I think that's what probably did turn me into a stoner. Is probably smelling that every day. No, I'm kidding.
See, candy is
Like
the
they made
entry
Kit
drug.
Kats and other stuffs there, dude. And it was like you
Sugar.
come out in batting practice and just be like smelling this just candy, burnt candy all day, and I'd be like, yes, I love it. All right, anyway, getting a little bit too excited about the candy there. So I guess also Dredd had a death in his family. He was one of my good friends. Obviously, everybody that's been a long time listener of John. I don't mean bring things down here, but you know, this is the JDR in and outs of lives and stuff, and we are talking about the industry
In and out.
and
We
the
were just
industry,
talking about
the
In-N-Out,
insides of the industry, you know, and
Oh.
Dredd's part of the industry, and Dredd, you know, does his thing for Derek Silver Lizard and the whole crew and stuff, and he's taking a trip back home to a funeral. He just said, "This will lift your spirits, though." Just smoked a fat joint of Underdog, off to the museums.
nice.
Anyway, looks like he smoked it right under the Washington Monument. Dude, it's awesome. So anyway, yeah, not awesome trip, but yeah, shout outs to him and best of travels to you, buddy. So getting back into things, you guys have had what have you anything interesting happen this week in the grow? Anything new pop up?
Well, we're currently
Yeah.
we've got God, what was it? What do I have that stuff that's upstairs?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's-
Dude,
you're
man,
just
what's that
mumbling.
stuff upstairs inside the box that has that thing and looks like
it's-
this?
wait, come on! I'm dealing with 80 different strains. There's
80.
I don't remember.
did you
It's
hear that,
more than
people?
that now.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, he just said 80.
80.
it's there's I know some lemon haze
Tasty.
that's finishing up. It is finishing up right now. It's be cutting down probably by the end of this week. Be running through, so that's going to be into the stores soon.
Right on.
God, there was a whole bunch. We just sent a whole bunch of
Master
new stuff.
Kush?
Yeah, that Master Kush. We just sent that stuff in. That what was the beautiful Shiva? Was it the Shiva skunk?
I don't think we have Shiva Skunk yet through, did Warlock? Warlock?
the
We have
Sensi
Warlock
Star.
Scar.
Yeah, the Warlock skunk.
Oh, Sensi Star, yeah. Oh, got to get some of that.
Sensi
That's
Star?
in the
Oh,
Yeah, that's a 6-time Cannabis Cup winner. I
That's a
think, or
very
something.
good strain. That's a good strain. I like Sensi Star. That's
Yeah.
a nice uplifting high.
It was interesting talking to the trimmers. Their comments on that one. They were wow. They were like that.
It's-
It was
it's a
just
blingin' strain.
amazing. They
It's
have-
tasty.
We haven't had anything
Blingin'.
go through the room, that looked like that in a while. Like we're saying, its particular structure. It's
Dredd mentioned
I wonder if I have a picture of it.
Dredd mentioned Underdog here a minute ago, and I think the Sliz has Underdog available. But that strain makes bomb hash. Like I don't know what it is.
Cal X. We've got that from TH Seeds.
Oh yeah, Cal X. Yeah, that's gone. One has gone through, but I don't think it was made into hash.
No,
at
but
all.
like I'm saying, the trim when it's time for that stuff to be
Interesting.
made. So
You know what I just realized? I'm not going to announce this to the rest of the people on air, but I just realized something the other day that could have been a huge disaster, but wasn't.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Whew. A little box of something sitting somewhere. Had to show the house. No notice. Obviously didn't smell too much, but
yeah, yeah. It's kind of funny. I know a grower actually who's moving out of the city, moving out. Is a caregiver and getting out of town, and found a new place and goes in and basically gets the owner and stuff. So like, okay, rent it to you, la da 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 da, and The owner then says to him, he says, "Hey, are you going to be growing any weed?" And he says, "Well, yeah, I am. I'm gonna probably grow." And because there's the garage, half the garage was like it had been a grow before. Everything's all set up there. And he's like, "Yeah, I probably am." And the owner of the house is like, "Good, awesome. I want to start growing some stuff, and I don't know anything." So he's like,
Tim.
all excited,
Nice. What is this here?
That's the Sensi Star.
This is the Sensi Star. Nice. I don't know if I can hold it up to the cam here for the good peeps, or if it'll even focus.
That's not bad.
Just it's like dipped in platinum, rolled in diamonds. It's this really
I
phenomenal.
think there's one in red. Next picture, or the one before.
There's a picture of you hanging in a room full of hanging
Don't look at that.
glory. No, I'm not saying. No,
I'm just kidding.
Hanging buds.
Okay.
Holy cow! Trying to freak me out here. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, there's some. It's just an interesting plant, the Sensi Star.
It's just short, stocky,
Yeah.
bunch of branches.
You know,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Dealing
Which
with
is
80
nice.
different strains is some of them they just kill it. Some of them you can get. Oh my God!
and you don't
about
have to do
3
too much
pounds of
to.
light. You don't have to do a lot to it, And there's other ones you can do everything in the world, and you're just gonna get a pound and a quarter,
yeah.
and that's it. You know?
Bummer, dude. So yeah, so your favorite then over the past week that's made some maybe moves as far as plants, like what I mean.
Oh well, I told you
pure.
I'd cracked the what?
The pure, didn't you have? You've
Oh yeah,
come
the
out with-
pure. I got
Pure Kush.
by
Skunk.
Flying Dutchman. It's the Skunk #1 original.
I've heard good and bad.
Yeah, I don't know it, so I mean I know the Skunk #1, but
It's pure is one of those strains around. I think that's more that's come out here in Colorado, but I've heard good and bad about it.
Huh.
So it's just
we'll find out, I guess.
I think it's just how it's grown,
Yeah, it's maybe it's just outside or hydro or inside soil. It's probably just
Well, it's not. I mean, it's like a great. I mean, it looks great, but I mean, just the high that comes with it or whatever. I mean, of the potency or whatever has just been. I don't know.
lacking.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've just heard a few different
Well, we
things
had,
about it.
of those strains, those 80, trust me, there's been several strains that we've gotten rid of because they just did not add up. It wasn't this, they might have grown good, but they just didn't sell because the patients were like, this does not work. This
It's
is
like the pot of gold.
Yeah.
a great
it's the pot of gold.
Hindu Kush and skunk. Is it skunk something? Skunk 1 or something?
Master Kush, I've heard a lot about lately, man.
It just doesn't.
Yeah,
lot
we've
of
got
people.
Nirvana Master Kush.
Yeah.
We've got, in fact, I've got half a dozen plants right now that I think are going to be going through. So we'll see what and it's kind of the first time that they've gone through this strain. So I'm actually pretty happy with what I've seen with just the first round. I'm hoping that the feedback from the patients is positive.
Yes, and
As far as front of the house, though, it's pretty much that Ghost Train Haze,
yeah.
that Chemrec.
Also, something that I
maybe-
gotta mention something too here that I did not mention at the beginning that I should have got to, and it's damn, Warren's probably gone. I don't know if he's heard anything or he knows anything or at all. But in a situation like this is where I need to have an intern to call a Department of Revenue and talk with. Phil, we gotta find some interns, man. Find some people to smack the whip with, man.
Send your resume too.
Yeah, send your resume to johndoe@johndoeradio.com. Seriously, intern in Denver. If you're going to a broadcasting school and you'd like an internship, we are a business. I mean, there shouldn't be any reason why nobody, especially the Ohio Center for Broadcasting. I mean, I'm an alumni, so
Or if you're just interested in the cannabis industry.
that's true. Salesperson. Damn it! What was I talking about?
Well,
before?
you wanted to call the Department of Revenue on something. What do you want to find out?
Oh yeah, that's very important. Very, very important. Right now, there's big hoopla, a lot of rumor going around about seeds, and like I heard the rumor would be that one seed is one plant, and I'm like, whatever. And I heard it again and again, and then I think
One seed is one plant. What are you talking about?
If we have seeds, that counts as a plant against our count?
Si,
What?
senora.
What?
Well, it's
Give me a...
yeah. I'm not. This is the things that they come up
They
with.
don't all germinate.
Not only that, but it's like, okay, all of
See,
a
here's the
sudden
thing,
I
here's
had
the
a
thing.
plant
This is from-
herm out and a
this is
bunch
from-
of
this is
seeds,
from rare-
and so
hold
I'm
on,
gonna
hold on. Let me
It's
just
no
say
longer one plant.
This is
that's
from
now-
Rare Dagnus Seeds.
Yeah.
All seed production in Colorado has been postponed until the Med gives us clear ruling on whether seeds may be sold to patients. So I don't know what the bottom line is. I mean, I don't know if it's a plant seed is a plant or if patients are allowed. Here's the deal. Seeds are covered in Amendment 20.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It's
They were put there on purpose because people needed
access.
access, and it's just the beginning of access. I mean, where the
So,
hell do
no,
people...
you can't see. Like I'm saying, what happens if I have a plant that
I'm
herms out?
God, here's
You know,
cut.
and it seeds out, and then all of a sudden that plant is now no longer one plant. That plant is now considered to be 1,000 plants because I've got seeds in it.
Yeah, I don't know.
That
man.
doesn't make sense. I
Yeah.
mean, and how are you going to know
Okay,
if a
this-
seed
this-
is viable or not? You can't. It's the same thing with a cutting. You can't know until that plant starts to get its roots if it's going to survive.
Here's we
This is
have
where Monsanto tries to infiltrate.
This is from Rare Dankness. We have only heard as of Friday that the Denver Med said seed sales are legal. It has been the Fort Collins office that has been saying otherwise. Fort Collins office has also said any MMC in that is subject to the ban cannot do a transport manifest on the last day before the ban, so they may seize all inventory left. That's a different topic.
Yeah, but the
There-
court
that sounds like
didn't the
that's-
court rule there's a stay on that right now
Yeah. Well,
on Fort Collins. They don't have right now. They sued.
it's just him saying the Fort Collins office is like maybe.
Well,
I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, but from what I take from
They've
this,
gone rogue?
You may have said it, not me. And then it comes up. This just 2 hours ago. MMED, the medical marijuana. I can't talk. The Medical Marijuana Enforcement Division says patients can buy seeds 6 at a time. So that's the latest word. Still waiting to get that in writing. So. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it. See, and here's the. This is just BS, and you just exactly what you say. Gosh, it's just ridiculousness.
exactly.
Rob Diedrich, is that his name?
Okay, you
Rob
know
Dyrdek?
what I'd like.
He's got a show on MTV called Ridiculousness. We should just send him this. Everything that happens here, and then never mind. Anyway, go ahead.
That's to me is like, okay. Then the next thing is now what are we going to have the plant police that are going to be driving around Denver and making sure that the poppies in your yard are of a legal species that aren't of a controlled one. You know, and it's like, are you kidding me? You're actually going to count seeds and count those as plants? That I think that's just absolutely ridiculous. You have to plant. You have to in order to just. I'll put it like this: as a grower, okay, I need to, in order to find a proper genetic that is the absolute perfect gene and phenotype and everything that I need to crack 500 seeds. But in order to find the perfect strain that is going to be able to produce the plant that I want, I don't think you don't get it. That's absolutely ridiculous to say that a seed is considered to be a full plant, because that plant, once I go on and I take cuttings from that, it doesn't mean that plant can be 1 million plants. How many cuttings I take off of it? It's like, like we're saying, a plant produces.
Then how many branches? Then you're saying, okay, it's got 14 branches. That's 14 plants.
Yeah, you're kidding me, because I can
That's
turn
what
that.
it-
I
that's
can
saying.
turn one plant into 1 million plants. One seed is one plant. That's ridiculous.
Well, it's just their way of just
this
trying
is all
to
hearsay.
cut it out. It's just they're trying to push us back.
Well,
That's all.
And this is all hearsay. I don't know 100% what is going on or what exactly the outcome of anything is or the rules or any of that.
It's just chatter now.
I'll get to the bottom line of that and talk to Warren and we'll find out. Obviously, we're very close to the best seed
I think
companies
it's
in the
just
world.
it's going over.
THCs
I can
and
understand
Rare
the
Dankness.
like we're saying the tracking of seed to sale. But that to consider that you are limited to how many seeds that you're able to purchase. I know a lot of people who did not. I've taught several people on how to crack seeds that did not know how. Okay, that are out there that are, oh my God, I've wasted $50 now on these seeds that I keep getting. I can't get a viable plant. How can you help me, get something that's going to work? I can't keep throwing money away like this, and it's really,
Yep.
I don't know. It's like, well, like we're saying, where are the limits? Like we're saying, does that matter? If you're going to sit here and track this, that patient, what is going to stop them? They can't go, 1 week, buy the 6 seeds and then say, well, they all died, and come back the next week and buy 6 more and just keep saying this every week.
Yeah, just wasting time.
Come on. It's a joke. It's unenforceable.
Yeah. I mean, I see what they're trying to do, but jeez, man, come on. Legalization, man, legalization. And in saying that, I'm not throwing medical marijuana under the bus. I'm just saying that I think if we want to poke another spear into this thing,
I can understand tracking it. You want these patients to know that it's like you don't want somebody coming in buying all the seeds in the house and then taking them to another state and selling them. You know what I mean?
I don't even care about that. I'm just I want it to be. I want it to be free. I mean, that should be able to happen.
Yeah, actually, it should.
It should be able to happen. And I want legalization to come through, be able to open up a market for that to be able to happen, and then to get the people that are on your asses and our asses, on their asses for not paying taxes on all the big, massive grows that they've got going on and the businesses and everything, leave the patients alone. That's where legalization becomes important at this point in time. But there is a way to deal with it, and there is a way to discuss it. Also at the same time with medical marijuana, all right? They are hand in hand, one and the same. You cannot throw one or the other underneath the bus. Just
no.
Cannot. It's beautiful. It would be beautiful to see legalization happen because of how much study that would go on. Well, just insane. It would be a whole different, a brand new world if legalization were to come across. Just in the fabric of America alone, but then in medicine, we would change everything. But
well, it's like, to me, it's like, okay, tanning beds. Okay, there are people out there who suffer from seasonal depression that a tanning bed actually does good for them, and has a medical use. All right. Then you have people who just have vanity, who just want to look good, so they climb into a tanning bed to have dark tan skin.
Yeah.
So, like we're saying, it's going to be there. You're going to have it. It's like we're saying with the whole thing of the legalization, you're still going to have the people out there that just want to use it medically. They're not using it to go get screwed up or relax when they get home from work, and do they actually need it medically. There are those ones that you have to always continue to provide the avenue and the access to those people who want to use it medicinally.
Yeah. No, that's a hugely important part of everything is access, and making sure that people don't get persecuted for the situations that they're in, and it's crazy.
Well, it's like right now, I understand Warren has been pretty upset. I've been watching him post about this whole thing they're saying about with the kids, that...
Oh, yeah, I haven't even been able to follow it. Oh, yeah, he's talking about how the schools...
Yeah, the schools and
like
stuff.
Name one...
Show me an incident where this kid has gotten the medical marijuana and, is doing it. Apparently there was... I don't know all the details. But he was saying something about where one kid got some stuff and it wasn't medical marijuana, it was other marijuana, and they're trying to blame that it's because there was a medical marijuana facility that's within the range 1,000 feet of that school that it's giving these kids the wrong.
Where it come from?
It's giving these kids the wrong image. Oh yeah, of course that's where it had to come from.
There. Of course,
it's
not from their friend Johnny down 2 lockers away.
No. Jamal down the hall.
Yeah.
That's racist.
Okay, Nate.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else for us this week?
It's jacked up.
Well, no, actually, we were just sending a bunch of stuff in. Like, you hooked our boy up with CPM with Top Shelf, I believe.
Oh, sweet.
And I think today they were actually transferring product to be made into this high quality oil that we're looking forward to.
Yeah, because it's this
stocking.
There's this new thing coming out with them, and we're going to talk about it more on Wednesday from Top Shelf. You've seen the wax, probably been familiar with the wax. It ain't going to be no more wax from Top Shelf. It's going to be ridiculousness. All right, and it's fine. Here's another thing: it's fine to have the competition and everybody blah 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 blah. I'm sick of everybody hating on each other. Is what the thing is, man. Make your product, make it great, make it fantastic. Critique other people, but don't like super hate, like unless it's really horrible product. No. But then who decides what's really horrible product?
See, that's the thing.
That gooey stuff that's just runny.
See, it's very interesting. You have with different
it's supposed
patients,
to be waxy, but it's not oil. And anyway.
And you have some patients who it's very interesting. Some that are just they're not doing well. They don't have a lot of money and stuff, and they literally will come in and say, "Hey, do you have some shake? Do you have what's the cheapest thing I can buy and do?" And when they need oil and stuff, it's like they don't care necessarily, and they think it's great. It's just the fact of being able to have some hash oil, works for them. And then there's other people where it's like, nope, they've been doing this and they can afford to have the better quality medicine, and they're like, no, I'm not gonna. It's just like what used to be back in the day, the old Mexican brickweed.
Yeah.
You know how long it's been since I've even seen that stuff. You sit there with a frisbee and a driver's license cleaning all the seeds out of that stuff. It's like, come on, it changes. Some people get used to. I cannot. I have to have a very high quality of cannabis now, and I couldn't go back to that. It's the same thing when I see with the hash oils, where there were some patients just absolutely love this, and it's when you actually have patients who have used quite a bit of it who come in and say, oh my God, this stuff does not work.
Yeah.
That where it's like, okay, well then let's step our game up. And that's always looking at, hey, the patients come first. What they want, is what we get. And so seeing the quality that Top Shelf was able to put out, it's like, no brainer right there. It's absolutely.
Awesome. It's great to have you guys in here with us to sit and talk with us about, things are going on inside of the grow, the industry and how you guys feel about things. And so we appreciate that.
Well, right now we're also concentrating at the garage is making sure everything is in compliance. We've got the inspectors that are starting to come through. It's just a matter of time now of when they're going to be coming through again at our place. And it's having everything in compliance. It reminds me of a lot of the aerospace industry, where we had to have in our facility absolutely everything labeled and traceability and certs on every little part that we had to have certificates. So it's kind of the same thing, the same setting now is what's happening is the MMED is implementing the rules and regulations that we have. There isn't one second that a plant in our place is not on camera. They just upgraded an entire more. We've had a few upgrades when it came to our video system now at the warehouse because of the way that we grew, and now making sure that you can't go in or out of that place. You can't make a movement in that place without being on camera. Yeah. And it's just that's what the state wants to see. The tagging, the all the information that needs to be with those plants, and the tracing back to a patient number attached to each one of these. But making sure that this compliance, that we are doing everything that the state wants to. The biggest thing that I'm actually shocked with was actually the trash of what we actually have to do now with our waste material.
Yeah, that's something else. Yeah, what do you got to do with that?
It has to be completely destroyed, and it's basically seriously run through
damn near
mulch,
have to pulverize it.
Run through mulch. That all this stuff is just and then mixed with our dirt, our waste soil.
My question is when you're not growing in soil, what are you mixing it with to destroy it?
Yeah. Exactly.
NFT or hydro
something
of some sort.
You got to do something to. But basically making this stuff completely.
Can we spray it with bleach?
Inusable. Well, how do they know if we did or didn't then? With the mulching and the what we're requiring us to do now, it's pretty obvious. They just go and look. See, we thought,
I have a secured lock. We literally have one of those bare dumpsters that they put up in the national parks that are pure solid metal all the way around.
It takes 3 guys to lift the lid on these things. Okay, they're just
not
ungodly. There's no way, and even then they've tried. We've had people, of course, that have tried, and nobody has been successful in getting into our, the first time we got into it once, the way back when we first got this, and we talked to
We got a lot of trash stories.
Talked to the trash guys about it and said, hey, we need something secure here, and they basically gave us the Wells Fargo of trash cans, and it's
worked out well.
It's worked out very well. Yeah, it's funny coming in after a night, that you can see somebody's been trying to get into it, and there's
Just
stuff,
nothing.
and then so there's cracks, there's little
So
things,
they-
and they take sticks and they try and get, and there's just dirt.
So there is, to some degree, a concern from the state about trash getting yanked out of there, but
Yeah.
the plants, are all dead going in. It's not like you're going to replant them or take a cutting off of it and try to
There's nothing usable. When
It's-
we use
or-
everything usable is used.
Yeah, there's no
like we talked about
nugs
earlier.
going out
there's
into the trash.
There's the stuff that we can everything the leaves and everything that you can run through and do a cold water extraction on hash. It's all done.
It's almost like you have to have a full-time person just mixing up trash.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn near.
It's going to be
completely
that's going to be
waste.
the hardest thing I think.
Is that what
to-
they do with pharmaceuticals and needles and stuff from hospitals? No, it goes into a locked, secure
That's-
box that gets disposed of properly. We
A
have a
waste company.
secure
That's why
lock
we have
that
a
gets
contract.
disposed properly.
That's what I think. Somebody,
professionally.
that's
It's
the
like,
next coming thing
what's
is like
the
a
difference?
disposal company needs to contract with the state or something.
Well, it's something because this stuff is going out and they're I can understand what their intention is, of making
I understand
keeping that and
trying
stuff.
to keep the crackheads out of the dumpster.
But at the end of the day, there's it gets to a point where it becomes prohibitive. We're doing everything we can to keep it out of the hands of people who shouldn't have it.
Yeah.
If they go above that, it's like somebody comes in and robs a bank. Well, we have
How's that our fault?
How is that our fault?
Yeah.
As being a bank, or what?
We've done all the necessary
We did everything
precautions.
we needed to protect the assets.
It's a little overboard, is what I'm saying. It's a little too much there.
Sometimes it creates. It goes way beyond. I mean, our labor, model is. There's no millionaires in this industry. A lot of people have a misconception about medical marijuana and stuff, that all these people who jumped into it that are rolling big time, and it's not like that at all. We employ
There's a
several.
few, but
several
a few.
employees. That every one of us are all, practically, not necessarily hand to mouth, but kind of paycheck to paycheck. Things are tight. Things are,
for
sure.
I'm not living a life of luxury. I'm not making, $1 million a year. I'm not doing. I go to work and I put in over 40 hours a week, easy, and I do what I can. I enjoy the job. It's more about what I enjoy being in the industry and being a part of this and being able to grow a beard if I want to.
Yeah,
And not,
exactly.
you know what I mean? I don't have to answer to a lot of the things that other people do that deal with the public. I have dealt with the public.
Yeah, you
A
did
lot.
on the dispensary
Yeah,
side.
well, it's not.
it's
we're-
different up there.
It's a lot
They gotta
different
look nice.
working in a dispensary or the cannabis center.
They don't have to look like dirt bags.
But well, how many? It's interesting. Like we've seen over the last couple of years, the speed of the change in this industry of these places. Do you remember back when these places opened up, when you'd go in and you'd sit down at a table with a Russian and he'd reach into a jar with his bare hand and pull out a handful of buds and throw them on the scale and then throw them in a baggie for you?
I do not remember that.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I do not.
It was like
I still remember going over to my friend's house.
But it was like we're saying, the change in the industry and stuff. Is like, okay, this isn't just a like you're saying, going to your basement, your friend's basement to buy weed. It's now going in and actually educated customers. These patients actually know what they're coming in and
Yeah.
looking for and know what to identify.
Yeah, no doubt it.
And you can't be just a fly by night production place thinking that you're gonna be.
Oh no, I was one of those kind of. Once I learned a few of the ones that I really looked for. If one place didn't have it, I'd
Yeah.
go to the next one to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was what I freaking wanted.
Durban. I want Durban poison. Where's Durban? Give me Durban.
Some Durban poison wax around here somewhere.
Oh yeah.
See.
It's
Cool, man. Well, that's good times, man. I think that you guys have anything else for today? I think that's just going to do it for today. But yeah, make sure you guys check out CPM in both their locations in Lakewood and Louisville. Good people.
We try. Hey, the patients, like we're saying, we're actually a full service, health and wellness center. There is other things besides the cannabis. In fact, I think they are doing a massage and hot stone therapy deal right now. You have to call the stores to find out.
If you go on Facebook,
there you go.
I message out a lot of the deals. You can also go to Compassionate Pain Management on Facebook. It's under my list of likes and stuff, so check it out, man.
Or check us on the web, compassionatepm.com.
Tons of great deals that you guys have had out. So,
well, we try, like you're saying, being competitive with everyone, but it's interesting that the prices and stuff of what we're paying here in Colorado as a patient, wow, compared to what the market used to be just a couple of years ago as patients or illegally, it's night and day.
Yeah.
And it's
Rather
interesting
difficult.
because we've had to continue. Roper and I,
very.
we've been forced to, like we're saying, the stores, they do what they have. They of setting the
To push more
prices
for
and
less.
do this, but we over here on the grow side of it have had been pushed to produce better and better quality weed, so that we're just producing just phenomenal stuff. And we send this stuff to the stores, and then I see what they're selling it for, and it's like, oh my God, this is the best cannabis I've ever grown in my life. I've ever seen. And it's being sold for how much?
yeah, I mean, all the time it's private caregiver.
It's like-
you can't grow that much, and you struggle, and you need to get the most out of it that you can. And it's not like you're trying to hose anybody, but I mean, it's just capitalism.
Yeah,
capitalism,
and that's
man.
what's happened, and that's
It's
what
gotta be.
this regulation has done to this market, and it has completely cut prices beyond in half. Beyond.
Which regulation sucks to have on top of that, which is the problem, so you get to that. So
Well, that's it. And then like we're saying, they're requiring us to do more and more, like with the compliance and stuff. And it's like, wow, we've got to do more for less. Always. It's just that's how it continues to do more and more. And it's a struggle. But we're very strong. I think we have got a really awesome crew all throughout CPM. The front of the store, the back of the store, the front of the warehouse, the back of the warehouse. Everybody has a crucial role. And I hope that next show we're able to get more of these faces in here, so you can find out some more about, just what all we do here, our struggle.
that'd be awesome. Check these guys out. Make sure you give them a holler. And what's the website?
CompassionatePM.com.
Awesome. Also, a big thanks to our other sponsors, Rare Dankness Seeds, raredankness.com. Make sure you check them out. 970-812-DANK, 970-812-DANK. Give them a holler, and they can take care of you. Get some seeds in the shop, and I'm sure that situation will get taken care of. No worries on that. Also, thanks to A Cut Above in Denver, 1911 South Broadway. Fantastic strains there. They've got some pretty incredible deals going on right now. Thanks to them. 1911 South Broadway in Denver. And as we just said, big thanks to CPM. Big thanks to Mad Hatter's Smoke Shop. Also, Rare Dankness Seeds, Hemp Hoodlum, Adam Dunn, Dude Grows, dudegrows.com, GrowWise, 3225 South Wadsworth Boulevard. These are all just free giveaways. Shout-outs to people who've been with us for a long time, man. For a while.
Hell, Grow as Sweetest.
GrowWise, yeah, hell, Grow Sweetest. Handmadeapparel.biz. Big thanks to Adam Hand from Handmade Apparel. Handmadeapparel.biz. Edson Maton and Mats. That's good friends here at the office. Edson Maton and Mats. Make sure you don't forget to listen tonight to iCannabis Radio. Go to iCannabisradio.com and you can listen there. There's a link through there. It starts at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. You got some awesome guests on that show. Also, big thanks to Run on Grass, LittleManHosting.com, Mile High Wellness, and our new sponsor, Top Shelf Extracts, 855-710-EARL, 855-710-EARL. So looking forward to talking big chats with awesome dude, with Dan on Wednesday. I was trying to think of is it Dan and Tom? Tom, yeah, I couldn't think of this. I'm so crappy with names sometimes. Yeah, Dan and Tom maybe be here, and we'll be talking about him with his new stuff. He says he's got something amazing to show off that he's working on today, so we'll see what happens on Wednesday. Tomorrow, Oh my goodness, tomorrow we do have a special show for you. Let me make sure I get this shit straight because, oh my goodness. Tomorrow on the John Doe Radio Show on Glass Tuesday, we got, like I said, somebody extra special coming in. A female glassblower, Christina Sasser, is going to come in and hang out with us, talk with her about her awesome glass. You can also check out some of the stuff that she does online on her Facebook page, Christina Sasser, K-Sass, and all that awesome stuff. She's going to be a guest on Tuesday, tomorrow, and we'll be talking about what she does and all the awesomeness. So make sure you check us out then. And yeah, have yourselves a fantastic evening. Have yourselves a fantastic whatever it is that you do. All right? Thank you to everyone that makes the show possible. Don't mean to be stressed any more than I am. I'm just trying to say woosah with it all. So whatever happens, happens. Appreciate everybody's support. And that's what it is.
Hope everybody got dug out today. Got to work.
Yeah.
We're plowed in.
I didn't mind being, just hammered into the snow. That was something else we could have talked about at the beginning, was the weather and how much we got hammered with snow. But yeah, that wasn't too much of a mind. Phil didn't like it too much.
Broke records.
He was feeling a little cabin fevered, but I got out a little bit, had fun. I'm trying to get out more and more, have fun, but it's always the crushes of the monetary issues, always money. So, all right, have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Thank you to everybody that makes this possible, and yeah, just got to get to the point where it's not so rough, 100% of business, and we're living comfortably, and we can pay the people that we need to pay. All right. Have yourself a fantastic day. Thank you again, Patrick Roper.
Thank you.
Thank you. Whoops, sorry there. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're welcome.
Also, big thanks to everybody. You, the listener. We already said that. I'll see you on tomorrow, Glass Tuesday. Phil, did I say thank you to you? I said thank you to Phil. All right. That's enough. Get high. I'm John Doe. See ya.
Radio show is produced by Charlie and the John Doe Radio Show programming is not limited to, but includes information on agriculture subjects and is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. We specifically include responsible marijuana reform. Besides, listening to anyone mention others is stupid. We accept no responsibility for your actions or misrepresentations, and we do not fully endorse the use of illegal drugs. You are ultimately responsible for yourself.
John Doe Radio.
Radio.